to another episode today with me. And today I'm going to show you how I built this. Guys, this was a garage, but not anymore. Thought I might do a little bit of a different video today, just on a new job in a 12x6 garage, and I'm going to be framing it out and making it into a nice room. So thought I might just make a video showing the process of how I do it. Let's go. Here's the shed. It's 6 meters across here, and I'm going to frame a wall 7.2 meters from the back wall across here and divide this garage in half and ply all the walls and the ceiling, replace that roller door there and put a nice door in here. Rightio gang, we have had a delivery. All our timber stud work has arrived. We got our ply sheets. And we got our insulation here. Getting all of the plates prepped out for the walls at the moment. Got them all cut. So now it is time to start framing, cutting studs. Hell yeah. So a little change of plan. I actually didn't start framing. I put the framing on pause because what I'm doing is I'm actually wrapping the shed as well as I go. So I was originally planning to wrap the back of the wall frames, but then I thought I can probably get a much nicer job by just wrapping it on the purlins first instead of the timber studs. So yeah, day one done. See you tomorrow, guys. That'll keep the moisture from getting into the insulation and the timber stud work. Keep it a bit more, what's the word? It will keep it a bit warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. So that's good for everyone. Bit of a rainy day outside, good day to be inside, but just thought I'd show you guys the detail of how I'm wrapping it. So I put one sheet on, as you would have seen, but except I leave it 300 mil longer than the column, and then I cut the sizelation around the purlin, tuck it under, and then tape the spot where I cut it, and that gives a really nice wrap around, and then I lap the next layers of sarking over that. And so yeah, it's coming together now. Rightio guys, we're getting somewhere now. We got the walls and the ceiling wrapped up. Just gotta wrap that bit up once I take that roller door down. We got the top plates up for the gables, and I'm gonna screw the bottom plates down for the gables with the concrete ram set screws. Rightio gang, just been doing a bit of prep work the last few hours. I'll show you what I've been up to. So what I've done is I've pretty much drawn each wall. So that's the front gable on the inside, so this front wall here. And what I've done is I've just sketched out the sheets of ply so I can get my head around where I need to put the studs as I'm marking out the plates. So I've done that for every wall. I've gone through and set out where all the sheets are going to be on the concrete slab. So I'm ready to mark out all my plates now. And also my hip when I put that up, and my top plate for rafters. And over here we've got some head flashings that I picked up. I've just folded the end down. I'm going to spray that with the Monument rattle can. That's going to go over there where the roller door is. Yeah, coming together now. Start framing today. So I just had to cut the bottom of that out to allow this one to slide along like that. And then I'll just rivet that together when I install it, and that's good to go. So it's absolutely pissing down outside, but just thought I'd show you this trick that I do. So I've got my bottom plate down and I've got my top plate up. Just ignore that roller door, it's coming out soon. But so what I like to do, best way to do it for me is set my laser up on my line where there's a stud, and then that just throws it straight up to the top plate there, and all I have to do is square that, and then that's my stud. Don't have to use a level or anything. So that's the way I like to do it. Works well for me. I love my laser. We got our window turned up, and we got our other studs cut and measured for the gable ends. So let's start that time lapse and see me throw them up. Righto, so finished framing this gable wall, just leaving these 3 studs out so I can get the window through. Framed out the doorway, notched in my door header, and now I'm just setting out these plates here, which is pretty important. So I found the center of my room here, that's 3/6. And then what I've done is I've actually spaced out my 10mm gap for the ply sheets, because each ply sheet will have a 10mm gap. And then I've just set them out from the center mark, so we've got 12 and 24 on each side. So then here we just see center of the sheet. And then over here as well, you see the 2/4 from the center, but then the actual sheet's offset by 10mm by the time you add those gaps up. So then I just lined the double studs up with this center line, one either side, and then set my other studs out in between there. And then that pattern is also going to determine my rafter pattern, so just making sure I get all this right, and then it'll all go together pretty fast. So what I'm about to do now, guys, is I'm going to measure our rafter length for all our rafters. So I've set my laser up, I'll show you that in a sec, along the center of the room where the center of the ridge is. I've got a screw up there, what's the back of my wall, and I'm just going to hook over that, see what length we got. Just going to measure down 120. That'll give us the bottom of our rafter. Oh, that works out awesome, guys. 3 meters 23. That's to the center of our ridge, so we'll take off 22 mil for the thickness of half the thickness of the ridge. Gives us 3 meters. Perfect for cutting a 6 meter length in half, eh? And here's the laser setup just on that center line there. I got my other center line down the other end of the room. And here I've just plumbed up my wall, did a bit of set out up there and got the screw on the top of the wall, back of the wall there, and there we go. Alright, so just cutting my studs at the moment. I'll show you how I do it. So I've got a 6 meter lengths here. My studs are 2480 to the long point. So all I do, measure to the center of my stud, which is 3 meters. Just get that marked there. Right. I'll just do 3. And then all I do is I sight them, so I want all the bows coming into the room, just so it makes straightening it easier. So then I just make sure the bow's going in, and then I just mark my angle, because the wall is actually going to look like this. Say that's the top of my stud, like that. My top plate's going to sit on there like so, and then my rafters are just going to sit on the top plate at that 15-degree angle. So, sight my studs in, mark the way the angle goes. That one's straight. Once you got your angles, got my bevel here, set on 15 degrees. Awesome bevel, this one. Go through and mark our proper angle on there. Mark, and cut them with the power saw on the ground. Time to remove the roller door. Don't try this at home. Righto, so I've just got 2 more bolts to pull out on it, on that side, and then it's going to roll off. Just got this rope here to pull it. Alright, get away from it. Alright guys, here we go. One good tug. And there we go. Down. Righto, I've framed up here, done. And then I've just gone along with my top plate and I've ripped the front of it at a 15-degree angle, because the studs are on a 15-degree angle. So then by the time that's on a 15-degree angle, that's going to be nice and flush. So it'll look good and it'll be a good job. Just going to start banging that wall together, so then I can nog, plane straighten this front wall, get that slider in there. Happy days. Rightio, a bit of an update. I've nogged out this wall here. As you can see, I framed the first 2 walls. Still got 4 to go, and then I can pitch the roof. But you can see here how I've done the window stuff. just like how we do any other house window. It's the exact same process. I've removed the old flashing from above, and just a little plane straight in here, as you can see, but it's time to put the window in. Right, again, this is how I put a window in. So, see, I've got my laser set up here. I've just gone along and checked where the track of the door is going to sit. We've had a wind, it's level. So, if it wasn't level, I would have had to pack one side or the other and all in the middle with packers so that the track's flat at the bottom, but I don't have to do that, which is a win. So then I'm just going to pack out off this stud plumb off this line and then nail a few packers on there. So it's pretty much all you're doing once you do this is when you put your window in, all you do is screw it to this one side and you already know that it's going to be level. Sorry guys, forgot to film that window, but I've just put it in. As you can see, it's nice and plumb. That's really the main important spot there, where it shuts, and then I've just screwed it. You can see where I've screwed it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there. And I've just pinned it back here, which is happy days. And now I just need to pack that out, and we're good to go. Radio fellas, we got the door in, flashing's on. Just let me show you what I've done with the flashing. So I taped behind this flashing, and then it's got damp course coming off the window behind this sheet to about here. So that's one layer of sealant, and then it's got this head flashing there, which returns under the sheet and comes past 150. Then I've put this flashing on here, silicone behind it, silicone down this join, and that's done. All finished. Nah, just kidding. Then I'll put another flashing over it that comes out to here, just for aesthetic purposes. Now we're back in here. Gonna rip the top plates of these baddies, frame them up, stand them up, plumb them straight, and get this ridge beam through. Might just put you on time lapse for these wall frames. Rightio, starting to pitch the roof now. Let me just tell you guys, it's all in the setup. I'm going to put on a clinic about how you can fucking pitch a roof pretty easily. It's not that hard. So our center line that we use for our wall framing is now very handy. I've got that set out there with the laser that's pointing along the center of the room, right? And then I've gone ahead and ripped this at 15 degrees either side to the center, so then we can pitch into this bottom line here. Usually when you do pitch a roof, you pitch it onto the top of the ridge, so you don't have to worry about doing that, but we're pitching it obviously to the bottom of the roof, so we're going to get the bottom flat. So next up, we'll mark our center line along here, and then I'll show you what we'll do next. All right, so I've gone ahead and marked all the centers, and I've also marked the height of the bottom of the ridge. So that's also set up at the height, so I can check it as I go. Got all my ridges cut, so I'll just go ahead and throw them up. Then the next step will be marking out the ridge. So my walls on either side are symmetrical to each other. The studs are all in the same place off, say, that wall there. So then all I'll do is I'll go through and probably mark out with the laser from one side to the other, and I'll line it up with the double studs that I've got here, every 12.05 for the sheet joins. And then I'll shoot a laser up there and mark that on the ridge, and then just do my intermediate studs and end rafters. I'll just mark them out. They're all 390s, so I'll show you a time lapse when I'm throwing up the rafters. Let's go. Rightio guys, I've officially completed the main frame in here. As you can see, I've got all my rafters up, which I time-lapsed just before. I didn't film any of the noggins, but you can see I've got 2 rows of noggins in on the roof, and then my noggin row in the walls. I've plane straightened everything, so as you can see I started insulating here. I'll come back when all this insulation's done. Righto. All the insulation's in now, except for that wall there. Just leaving that out until I get one side sheeted. But she's worked out beautifully. We've got I'll show you the profile and how this is such a good system that I've done here. So we've got our sheet on the outside, then we got a 65mm purlin, what our wrap's on here, and then our wall is stepped out. So that's the back of our wall's 80mm from the sisolation, which our insulation slips in, that gap there. So there's air gap, sisolation, insulation, and then our stud wall with kind of another air gap. So this place is going to be nice and toasty in winter. Now this is where it all comes together. We got all our double studs and our noggin lines everywhere, and our center ridge line. We're going to paint all those black, paint all the edges of our sheet black, and when we go to sheet it, it should be framed out perfectly for full sheets and half sheets, and that nice 10mm shadow line in between sheets. Okay guys, got the first sheet to ply up. Now it's time to do the ceiling. Hell yeah, might need a hand for this one. Got Izzy to help me lift stuff. Hell yeah. Alright, so I've painted all the edges of the sheet, and I've got my T-square here, and what I've done to it is I've pre-drilled holes, 20mm offset. I've got a center line here, so I just measure my studs and mark them on the bottom of the sheet and mark up the center line, and then I just pre-drill my holes. And then when I do the edge of the sheet, it's just a matter of lining up that sheet with the square, and then that gives you your 20mm offset that way. Quick sand, and it's ready to throw up. Fucking camera won't focus. What's up, guys? We out here with the ceiling. We got the ceiling up, guys, yesterday, so that's a good job off the list. Now we just got that laser set up there to the top of our first row of sheets. We're going to sheet this first row here everywhere. Then we're going to sheet the back side of this gable wall. Get that all sheeted, insulated, get rid of this insulation in the wall. And then it's time to frame toilet. Okay guys, we're getting on now. We got that first run of sheets on around the entirety of the room, and yesterday we just framed this toilet extra out, so that's all framed out now. I've just been painting the studs this morning, and now we're going to be cutting the rest of our sheets today and hopefully get the rest up. So guys, stay tuned, we're getting close now. Then it's into skirts, doors and architraves. Let's go. Righto guys, I finished plying this side of the wall and I finished plying the toilet. And we're getting some more sheets on here, which is good. I'll just show you guys. This is where the light and the fans going, and then toilet here. See, it's got the same ply detail as the rest of the room. Let's throw the rest of these sheets up. Our ply sheets are on, guys. Let's go. Check it out. Got the wall on the back there. Got this wall on. Look at all the quirks. Oh, beautiful 10mm. As you can see, all the quirks and all the screws are lined up perfectly. I went around and filled in this top gap with a bit of ply and ply along the bottom. So you guys might be wondering, oh, why is there a gap there? Well, I just did that so the sheets worked out without a little rip at the top. I've just halved it. And then there's a crown molding going on the top there and a skirting board there, guys. So we've got our crown all shot together. It's been hard to film. I've just been so busy. It's a bit difficult trying to film and work at the same time. You do one and you lose track of the other, or I do anyway. So anyway guys, hope you're enjoying so far. Let's keep going, eh? All right guys, it's time to cut the doors now that we've finished all the sheeting. So what I've done here is just written myself a list. This is the best way. Do your working out on another bit of scrap so you don't get confused. And then I've written, so 10mm under the door, 3mm top quirk and a 13mm quirk on the bathroom so you can lift the door off. Then we got our door size, the jam sides, our arcs, our jam heads, our stop heads and our side stops. And then once we figure out our sides, we can figure out our arcs, our heads, our stop heads and our side stops. And so we've got 3 different types of doors. So 3 lots of measurements, measure everything out, or work everything out, all the lengths. Then it's just a matter of quickly cutting it all and throwing it all in a bundle. And then we'll come down and we'll router our hinges into our doors and our side stops. Well guys, just about wrapping it up now. Got the doors on yesterday. All the sheets are on. Other door there. Today we just got the trim. And then we're wrapping it up today guys. We got the screen door come yesterday. Okay guys, just wanted to show you quickly a little detail. So this is the profile for the crown. And then in this strip here, there's going to be LED lights that run all the way around the main ceiling here. So that'll be cool. Whoa. Alright guys, we got our doors finished off here. Got the deadbolt on there. We've finished our crown up the top there. So that's a crown mold. Got the lights working. Pretty happy. I've put a nice finished piece over the steel beams there, which really breaks it up and makes it look quite nice. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Guys, this was a garage, but not anymore. We have a toilet over there. That's the garage out there. And here we are gonna have a big projector with the golf simulator on it. So let's go guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one.